The thermometer read 104.2 degrees. My 7-year-old son Marcus lay curled on the couch, his small body shaking despite the 3 blankets I'd wrapped around him. His lips were pale, and every few minutes a violent cough racked his chest. "Mom," I called from the living room, my voice steady despite the panic clawing at my throat. "I need you to drive us to urgent care. Marcus's fever won't break, and he's having trouble breathing." She didn't even look up from the television. The blue light flickered across her face as some reality show blared through the speakers. "I'm watching my shows," she said flatly, waving her hand dismissively. "It's just a fever. Give him Tylenol." "I already did. 2 hours ago. It's not working. Mom, please. He needs to see a doctor." "Then call an Uber or something. I'm not missing this episode. Do you know how long I've been waiting for this?" I stood there, holding my feverish child, staring at the woman who raised me, the woman who had lived in my house, rent-free, for the past 3 years, the woman whose car insurance, phone bill, credit card payments, and medical expenses I'd been quietly covering since she temporarily moved in after her divorce. Marcus whimpered against my shoulder. His skin burned through my shirt. "Understood," I said quietly. I pulled out my phone with my free hand and ordered a rideshare. Then I carried Marcus to the front door and waited outside in the cool evening air until our ride arrived. At urgent care, they immediately took Marcus back. The nurse checked his oxygen levels, 92%, lower than it should be. They did a chest x-ray while I held his trembling hand. 20 minutes later, the doctor came in with the films. Pneumonia, early-stage bacterial pneumonia in his lower right lung, requiring immediate antibiotics and monitoring. The doctor's expression was serious as he explained that Marcus's oxygen saturation was borderline. If I'd waited another day, he might have needed hospitalization, possibly even IV antibiotics and oxygen support. I sat in that sterile exam room, holding Marcus's small hand as they set up his nebulizer treatment, watching the medicated mist help him breathe easier for the first time in hours. And something inside me shifted. Not anger, not rage, just clarity. When we got home at midnight, Mom was asleep in the guest room. Her door was closed. She hadn't texted once to ask if Marcus was okay. I tucked Marcus into bed, made sure his humidifier was running, and went to my home office. I opened my laptop and pulled up the spreadsheet I've been maintaining for 3 years. Every payment, every bill, every expense. $72,000. That's what I'd spent keeping my mother afloat while she contributed nothing, complained constantly, and treated my home like a hotel. I opened my banking app and began systematically canceling automatic payments. Her mortgage payment, canceled. Car insurance auto pay, canceled. Credit card minimum payments, canceled. Phone bill, canceled. I sent emails to each company confirming the changes, creating a paper trail. Then I drafted a formal letter documenting 3 years of financial support and my decision to terminate it, effective immediately. I saved copies of everything. The next morning, I took Marcus to my sister's house. She had 3 kids of her own and immediately made space for us, asking no questions when I said we needed to stay for a week. Day 1 after we left, I didn't hear from Mom, not a single text. Day 2, nothing. Day 3, still silent. Day 4, my phone started ringing at 6 in the morning. Mom's name flashed across the screen. I let it go to voicemail. She called again and again. By noon, I had 14 missed calls and a flood of increasingly frantic text messages. Why did the bank call me about the mortgage? The electric company says my payment is overdue? What's happening? My credit card was declined. There must be a mistake. Call me back now. Please, I don't understand what's going on. I finally answered that evening. Her voice was shrill, panicked in a way I'd never heard before. "What did you do?" she demanded. "The bank called. They said the automatic payments stopped. My mortgage payment bounced. My car insurance sent a cancellation notice. What is happening?" "I stopped paying your bills," I said calmly. "All of them." Silence. Then, "What are you talking about?" "Those are my bills. My accounts." "Your bills that I've been paying for 3 years, Mom. Every single one. Your mortgage? I've been paying it since you moved in with me. $1,100 a month, without fail. Your car insurance, $200 monthly. Your phone bill, $150. Your credit cards, the ones you maxed out buying clothes, home decor, and meals out, averaging $300 a month. Your medical copays, prescription costs, dental work that insurance didn't cover, your gym membership you never used. All of it. Did you even notice the automatic payments coming from my account? Did you think it was magic? Or did you just decide not to think about it at all? You. What? No, that's not. I thought you were just helping out temporarily. Temporarily turned into 3 years. $1,100 a month for your mortgage. $200 for your car insurance. $300 on your credit cards. $150 for your phone, plus your medical expenses, which ran about $400 a month. I have the spreadsheets, Mom. I've been covering roughly $2,000 of your expenses every single month for 36 months. I could hear her breathing, fast and shallow. Why would you stop now? You can't just. Do you remember Marcus, your grandson? The one who had a 104-degree fever 4 days ago. Her voice got smaller. He had a fever. Kids get fevers. He had pneumonia, Mom. He needed emergency care. And you told me you couldn't drive him because you were watching your shows. Your television programs were more important than your grandson's breathing. I didn't know it was that serious. You didn't ask. You didn't care. You just wanted me to go away so you could watch TV. So I did. I went away, and I took my financial support with me. You can't do this. I'll lose my house. My car insurance is already canceled. I have a dentist appointment next week that I can't pay for. You're trying to ruin me. I'm not trying to ruin you. I'm just no longer subsidizing your life while you treat my son like an inconvenience. You have a choice, Mom. You always did. You could have taken 15 minutes to drive us to urgent care. Instead, you chose a reality TV show. Now you get to live with that choice. This is insane. I'm your mother. And Marcus is your grandson, the one you couldn't be bothered to help when he was sick. The next day, her mortgage company called her. I knew because she immediately called me, sobbing. The late payment had triggered a notice. She had 30 days to catch up or face foreclosure proceedings. Her car insurance company sent confirmation that her policy had lapsed due to non-payment. Driving without insurance in our state carried heavy fines and potential license suspension. Her credit card company called about the overdue balance, the one she racked up buying things for herself while living in my house, eating my food, and using my utilities. On day 6, my aunt called me. Your mother is beside herself. She says you abandoned her financially. She says you're being cruel. Did she tell you what happened? I asked. She said you got mad about some argument over a doctor's appointment. She refused to drive my son to urgent care when he had a 104-degree fever because she didn't want to miss her TV show. He had pneumonia. The doctor said another day without treatment and he would have needed hospitalization. She hasn't asked once if he's okay. My aunt went quiet. Then, I've been paying her mortgage, insurance, phone, credit cards, and medical bills for 3 years while she lived in my house rent-free. I'm done. She made her choice. I need to go, my aunt said softly. On day 7, Mom showed up at my sister's house. She looked terrible, hair unwashed, clothes rumpled, eyes red from crying. But she didn't ask to see Marcus. She didn't ask how he was feeling. She asked me to stop this nonsense and restore her payments. No, I said simply. I'll lose everything. Then I suggest you get a job. You're 56 years old, Mom. You're healthy. You're capable. You've just been living off me instead of supporting yourself. A job? I haven't worked in 30 years. That's not my problem anymore. You had 3 years of free housing, free food, and all your bills paid. You saved nothing. You planned nothing. You just took and assumed it would last forever. It won't. I can't believe you're doing this over one little mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. You chose your entertainment over my child's health, and that choice showed me exactly where your priorities are. I'm just no longer funding those priorities. She tried to push past me to get inside. My sister blocked the door. You need to leave, my sister said firmly. You're not welcome here. This is my family. No, I said quietly. Marcus is your family, the grandson you ignored while he struggled to breathe. Me? I'm just the ATM you took for granted, and I'm closed now. On day 10, the eviction attorney's office sent her the first official notice. Her mortgage was 30 days past due, and foreclosure proceedings would begin if she didn't pay the full amount plus late fees within 60 days. She called me crying, begging, promising she'd change. You can change, I told her. You can get a job, make your own money, and pay your own bills like an adult. That's always been an option. Where am I supposed to get $4,000 to catch up on the mortgage and insurance? Not from me. Day 14, I got a call from her pastor. He wanted to mediate. He suggested I was being unchristian and should forgive my mother. Did she tell you she refused to drive my sick child to the doctor? I asked. She mentioned there was a disagreement about transportation. My 7-year-old had pneumonia and a 104-degree fever. She said no because she was watching television. Has she asked you to help her find a job, or just to convince me to give her money? He hesitated. She's struggling financially. Then perhaps the church can help her create a resume and practice interview skills, because I won't be giving her another dollar. Day 16, Mom sent me a long email. It started with accusations and blame, claiming I was vindictive and cruel. It ended with desperate pleading, promising she'd be a better grandmother if I just helped her one more time. I didn't respond. Day 20, my brother called. He lived across the country and usually stayed out of family drama. Mom called me crying. She says she's going to be homeless. Is that true? Possibly. If she doesn't pay her mortgage, yes, she'll lose her house. Can't you help her? I helped her for 3 years. I paid roughly $72,000 of her expenses while she contributed nothing and couldn't even drive my sick son to the doctor. I'm done helping. That seems harsh. Does it? How much money have you sent her this year? Silence. Exactly, I said. It's easy to judge me for stopping when you never started. She has 2 other children. If you think she needs help, you're welcome to provide it. He didn't call back. Day 25, Mom got a job. Retail, part-time, minimum wage. It wouldn't cover her mortgage, but it was something. She called to tell me, her voice resentful rather than proud. Happy now, she spat. I'm working at a clothing store at my age. I'm happy you're taking responsibility for yourself, yes. This is all your fault. No, Mom. This is your consequence. You had a free ride for 3 years. You saved nothing. You planned nothing. And when my son needed help, you chose a TV show. These are the results of your choices, not mine. Day 30, Marcus was fully recovered. His color was back, his energy restored, his lungs clear. We moved back into our house after I changed the locks. Mom's belongings were packed in boxes in the garage. I texted her that she had 1 week to collect them or I'd donate everything to charity. She came on day 32 with my aunt's truck. I watched from the window as she loaded boxes, her movements slow and bitter. She looked up at the house once, her face twisted with anger and grief. I didn't go outside. I didn't help. I just watched her load up the life she'd taken for granted and drive away. That evening, Marcus and I made dinner together, just the 2 of us in our quiet house. He hummed while he helped me stir the pasta sauce, completely unaware of the financial war that had raged around him. Is Grandma coming back? He asked innocently. I don't think so, buddy. Okay, he said simply and went back to humming. My phone sat silent on the counter. No more frantic calls. No more desperate texts. Just peace. Mom still works at that clothing store. She found a roommate to help with her mortgage until she could sell the house and downsize. She never apologized for refusing to help Marcus. She never acknowledged that her choices led to her consequences. But every time my phone rings now, I don't feel that spike of anxiety wondering what crisis she's created that I'll be expected to solve. I don't calculate her bills in my head anymore. I don't carry the weight of her financial survival on my shoulders. I just live my life, pay my bills, take care of my son. And when Marcus has a fever, I drop everything and take him to the doctor immediately, because that's what you do when you love someone more than your own convenience. Mom taught me that lesson, though not in the way she intended. Some people think I'm cruel, that I should have forgiven her, given her another chance, continued to support her despite everything. But I learned something important in that urgent care waiting room while my son struggled to breathe. Enabling someone's selfishness isn't love. It's just another form of neglect. I chose to stop neglecting myself and my son. Mom chose her television show. We both have to live with those choices now.